Those were 20 millimeter cannon shells coming at him. Then he went to pilot training after World War II, and he flew P-80s, which are the first jet in the United States Air Force. I flew the two-seat version of that called the T-33. He flew P-80s and tried to hold back the Red Chinese and North Korean onslaught early in the Korean War. Also flew in and out of Vietnam. He's a retired colonel. He's an 8-year state legislator for us. I worked with Bill on a couple of bills, no pun intended. When he was a legislator, Bill Sinclair was the best of them. And they would tell you that on both sides of the aisle. He was a man who was always kind, always polite, never denigrated anybody. And I got to see that personally. I wanted to grow up and be like Bill Sinclair, which is most of you know, I'm not like Bill Sinclair. He also was a church administrator, and I'm honored to have him here with us. So you want to talk? Bill, do you want to talk? No. You don't? Probably better. Thank you.
Thank you and welcome, Bill. Well, there's that. Thank you very much. Kurt, if you'd like to come forward and do our guest intros. Thank you.
Howdy. We're having a great day and we're going to have a little better one now. Thank you, Bill, for being here. He's been a friend of mine ever since I've been belonged, and that was 1976 when I started. So thank you for being here. And I need to tell a story.
Short one.
And you have to bear with me just a little bit because I didn't know these guys. These two guys were Irish drinkers, Patty and Mick, and they worked together in a sawmill, and they liked to imbibe while they were working, which is a bad thing to do, but sure enough, Mick got in the saw, cut off his arm. Well, son of a gun, Patty took him down to the hospital, and they started working on him, and he went down the next day or 2 days later, and he said, "Where is my pal Mick?" And the nurse says, "He's out in the rehab yard there. Look at him. He's trying to throw a baseball and with his arm all cut off and then put back together." And he was just amazed. And so went back to work, and Mick came back to work, and damn if he didn't get caught in another saw again, sawed off his leg. And Patty put the same thing he did the first time, was put the arm in a plastic bag and take it down to the hospital with Mick. And now he put the leg in a plastic bag and took him down to the hospital, and went down a week later. And there was Mick out there trying to ride a bicycle. And the nurse was amazed. She says, "The best one we've ever had." And so, son of a gun, Mick finally did make it back to work. And damn if he didn't get in the big saw and cut off his head, severed his head. Patty put that in a plastic sack, and took Mick's body down there, and thought they was going to revive him, and came back a week later. "How's my pal Mick?" Nurse said, "He's dead." Why? He said, "Well, somebody brought him in here and his head was in a plastic bag and he suffocated."
Oh, you like that?
Let's see here. Tim calling. He has his daughter, Kimley. Where are you, Tim? Oh, right over here. There we go.
Just brought her again. This is the third time she's visited. She'll be our Rotary Exchange student heading to Sweden the end of July.
Want to say anything? No. Okay, great. Chris Lewis, where are you, girl? All right. She has another person she incidentally is the head of Pikes Peak Habitat. And she has another Habitat girl with her.
Young lady next to me is Chloe Henry. Would you please stand up? She's our Director of Faith in Action Programs. However, she would like to kind of step outside, just like I did, to find out how you can volunteer in the community without it all being Habitat. So Chloe, you want to say a few things, please?
Yes, hello everyone. It's an honor to be with you all today. I'm really excited to get to know Rotary and to get to know some of you all, but it's a pleasure to be here and thank you for inviting me to be a guest today.
And we're going to tag
All
team.
right. Congrats. Where's Randy? He has somebody to introduce. Oh, he's right there. There you go.
Okay, this is my very, very new friend Joshua, who maybe 15 minutes ago appeared at the doorway here. All I know is his name is Joshua, and somebody recommended that he check us out. So Joshua, tell us more about you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Joshua. I recently moved from Florida to Colorado Springs about a month ago. So it's very dry and cold. Totally not what I was expecting. Sincerely, though, a friend of mine told me like, hey, there's a thing called the Rotary Club that they have at every single county and every single city and every single state. And you should check it out. It's called a Rotary. I'm like, isn't that a wheel? And he's like, just go to it. So I've been here for a month and I've been dodging you guys every single time. I usually come here either a little too early or a little too late, and this place is already empty. So I got here perfectly at the right time. A little late, actually. No one was up the front. So that was, but yes, I'm very excited. I'm pleased to see all of you smiling faces. Again, my name is Josh and I'm new.
So 12:15. Yeah, okay.
You know what, Randy? I think probably our meals might improve. Marv Thomason, stand up just a second. Marv gave the best rendition of, he was singing to Kathleen last week. And in the meantime, I was listening to the Rocky Mountain Boys, and you did a hell of a lot better job making that last high note than those guys did on the record of many years ago. Let's give Marv a hand. I'm finished.
Thank you. All right. I think we need to get some applications at the back table. If anyone's ready to jump up and do that. We have a couple of announcements today. Cass Daly is still looking for Rotarians to volunteer on the scholarship committee. And they meet through emails and by phone. So it's not a huge commitment, and the commitment part is in May. So if you're interested in becoming involved, I believe that's on the tabletop flyer and her email's there. You're welcome to write it down or take a picture of it. And then also, for those of you who weren't here last week, I announced that we have an updated list in the newsletter that has all of the ways that you can donate to Ukraine through Rotary, but then also through Habitat for Humanity. And there's different levels that with Rotary that you can donate. So please take that information and just know that it is in the newsletter. I don't think it's on the website right now, but we probably ought to get it on there. So I'll let Mike know. And then Chip, where are you? Oh, there you are. Mhm.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Who in here is, I want you to raise your hands. This is interactive, okay? Who in here is either a veteran or you know a veteran? Okay, I need your help, please. On every table, there is one sheet of paper and it's a little spreadsheet, and it's what I've captured so far of all veterans in the club. So you can put down as much info as you want or as little info as you want. And if you know a veteran, please write that down for me so that I can try to capture that. We're trying to move ahead with the Veterans Network. And I do want to say, I'm going to go ahead and give Kerry some huge kudos. He has gone through the records of this Rotary Club going back to 1930. And he has identified that till now, he can identify that we have 83 World War II veterans that have been in this club. That is an amazing number. Makes my little spreadsheet look pretty paltry. So if you would, please just fill out information on the spreadsheet, as much or as little information as you want. I will collect those. And if you know another veteran, any kind of veteran, please let me know. Just write it down on there. Thank you.
Thank you, Chip. Tina, do you have anything to update us on flight?
Carol,
I just wanted to say, if
And,
anybody didn't hear last week, that the Flight 2022 gala and auction is scheduled for September 24th at the Boot Barn. Doors open at 5 p.m. You can now buy your gala tickets online at flight.givesmart.com. And we get together after this meeting every week to work on the project. So if you want to stay after this meeting and see what we do, please do it.
Very nice, thank you. So it is exactly time for our speaker to come up. I have the honor of introducing our Assistant District Governor and Foundation Chair, Mayle Foster.
So we have lots of people in the club that are new to Rotary, and I'd love to introduce you to the most important thing in the Rotary International is the foundation, because that's the money that we turn into projects. And the four-way test is something I totally believe in. And when I first started with Rotary 15 years ago with this club, I was involved in a business meeting and happened to have my brand new shiny Rotary pin on when I was meeting these new people that I was going to ask for a bunch of money. And one of the decision makers had a Rotary pin on too. And he said, well, I'm glad to know that we have someone who lives by the four-way test here. And I was new to Rotary and got chills because I thought, oh, this is one of the magic parts of Rotary, is that just by us both having those pins on, we were able to know right away what was expected of each other because of the four-way test. So since then, I've really discovered how powerful the Rotary Foundation is. So I have a presentation that is going to be very quick because I really want to recognize our members that are here today and some who aren't on how they've contributed to the Rotary Foundation. And like I said, the Rotary Foundation is what funds all that we do in the world. Whoops, I'm going too fast in our little fancy thing. I wanted to reiterate the mission of the Rotary Foundation is to help Rotarians to advance world understanding, goodwill, and peace. So of course, it's like, that's all I want to do in the world. And how we're going to do that is by improving health, providing quality education, improving the environment, and alleviating poverty. So when I look at that list, that's everything I want to do. And but I couldn't do it by myself, but being part of Rotary is what makes my little piece, my little dollar can help achieve this mission. And so this is what inspires me. Just would remind you that Charity Navigator, which is one of the main kind of organizations that kind of ranks and grades nonprofits, we have a 4-star rating. 91% of the money that you give to the Rotary Foundation goes to projects. I know I don't expect you to read the little charts. Hopefully you could see the line. But what intrigued me, I'm a numbers person. I can't help myself. This kind of stuff turns me on. So anyway, The blue line is Rotary membership starting in 1904, all the way up to, and I think it ends at, well, 400 years. But you can see the blue line. Oh, I have a little, look at this, see, ooh, look what I have. So we've had a kind of flat membership. And this looks, I have to get over here so I can see. This is the energy crisis, but this is 2008. So the blue line is membership. The red, the orangish line is contributions to the foundation. And so what we see that there were some dips, but as you can really see how contributions to the foundation have increased over the years. The point being is that those members that are here in Rotary, even though we've had kind of flat membership for quite a few years, this is worldwide, by the way, is that the members are recognizing the need and the power that the Rotary Foundation has and are continuing to contribute. Quick review of how the Rotary Foundation works. And the last time I was up here, somebody asked me some more detailed questions about the behind the scenes numbers. And of course, since I love numbers, 1.2, whoops, see. This says the net assets at the end of the last fiscal year, $1.2 billion. This isn't a little chintzy foundation. It's a nice foundation. There's some key funds in the foundation, the annual fund share, which you've heard me talk about a lot. Then there's the World Fund. And I've included World Fund, Polio Fund, Disaster Response Fund. All of those are funded out of the World Fund. This chart is showing what kind of grants come out of the World Fund, the global grants, the peace centers, programs of scale grants, which we're now doing $2 million grants, disaster response grants, Polio Plus, programs of scale grants. Oh, I did that twice, almost because it's important. And then there's an endowment fund. So annual share fund, the annual fund, the World Fund, and the endowment fund. Well, this annual share fund is where what we contribute, a good portion of that comes back to our community. So one of the important things about that is that what we give to that fund, we'll be able to use that money and match it with other kinds of grants for projects in our own communities. Well, so of course, all the districts, and we kind of plan and do budgeting and expect that we'll have money to give back and convert to projects. And so we're always focused on filling up that annual fund. So our club, every year, every club has a plan and reports up the chain of what we expect that we will have in donations to the annual fund. And so our club for this Rotary year said $21,000, which kind of makes sense because that's what we did last year too. And so this is to show you where we are. You do this one. So our goal is 21. We have so far as of March 23rd, $15,715. So we're $5,200 short of our goal, which in my mind is no big deal because we can do that easy. So basically, I'm looking and saying, okay, I want to make sure that we have $1,700 a month for the next 3 months so that we reach our goal. And the reason is this money will be contributed and invested for 3 years, and then half of it comes back to our district to be used for local projects. And so 3 years from now, we want to make sure we know exactly how much we have so that Carol Box Committee, Grant Committee can give us back all that money. And something else important is whenever you contribute to the foundation, you get a recognition point for each dollar that you contribute. And you accumulate these recognition points, and then you can gift them to non-Rotarians, other Rotarians, basically family members, whoever you want, to give them recognition. And part of the way the Rotary Foundation wants to recognize those that contribute is through Paul Harris Fellow recognition. And for each $1,000 that is contributed, whether it be via these recognition points or your dollars, you get recognition from as Paul Harris Fellows. And I have a whole bunch of Paul Harris Fellow recognition to give today because we haven't done it in so long. And so you've all been so generous where we're almost to our 15 or 21,000 that I have lots of recognition to give today. But before I do that, just want to see if there's any questions. Now answer questions and then I'll start on the recognition. No questions. You guys have got this down pat. Okay, you've heard it so much. I know. I have to say this is how you donate. myrotary.org, easy as pie. Log in. The reason why we want you to log in and have be registered with myrotary.org is so that our club gets credit for your contributions. And this is how you can make contributions to the annual fund, to designate it for the disaster relief fund, designate it to Polio Plus. You'll see it's very easy when you click on donate. They make it as easy as pie because they don't want any obstacles in your giving. I'm saying at least until the end of this Rotary year, which is June 30th, annual fund share is the one I'd love for you to pick. And then you don't forget to press the submit button. Easy as pie, myrotary.org. That's my contact information. So any other questions? I'm going to leave that up there. Oh, there's a question. Yay. Yes, sir.
So Mayle, when you gave that 91%, I prefer to use the flip of that.
Mm-hmm.
What that means is only 9% of the dollars that we give goes into what we call A&O, administrative and overhead.
Mhm.
I do a lot of charitable estate planning, and 9% is amazing.
Yes, it's very.
You'll find a lot of organizations, both faith-based and secular, who'll be at 20 or 25%, which means they're paying a lot of money to people to work in the organization. This means that most of the work done by the foundation is people like us, volunteers,
Yes.
who are making a difference in the world and in our communities.
Thank you very much. That is so true. Any other comments or questions? Well, Dennis, I'd like you to come up here and because Dennis had accumulated some recognition points being the generous person that he is. And he's going to recognize someone else.
Thank you, Mayle. Well, last November, I was looking online at myrotary.org. And if you've not been in there, you can go in there, see what your donations have been. And I saw that I had a little over 2,000 points that I could gift to someone. And I had already given one Paul Harris Fellow to my wife. So I went down through the list and I looked at who's in our club and my qualification that's on the board that doesn't have a Paul Harris Fellowship. And I only have 2 to give, one of whom is here today, Tina. I'd like you to come up. So this is just a way of recognizing someone in our club who's been doing an awful lot of work. You've been in the club, what, 2 years now? A little over 2 years. She's an officer in the club as the club secretary. She's leading flight and she's doing a bang-up job. And I'd like to award you with your first Paul Harris Fellowship in recognition of all you do. Sure.
So now I have quite a few more because you've all been so generous. And many of you aren't here. Some are on Zoom. But I don't see Bill Robers here. Bill Robers has a Paul Harris Fellow +1, which means this is his second $1,000. Alan Gregory, Paul Harris Fellow +1. Katie Langer. Paul Harris Fellow +1. It's got a beautiful sapphire in the pin. Yay. And then I have a Paul Harris Fellow +3. So that means that's the $4,000 for Jane Young. This pin has 3 sapphires in it. It's so pretty. Jeff Tiona, I don't know, is he on Zoom? So Jeff Tiona is a +3. I have for General Butler, Brad Butler, a +4. I don't think he's here. I'm going to just keep these, and as I see them, they'll get. Jeff Aronson, I haven't seen him in a meeting for a while, but he's a +5. This is my favorite one because it has 5 sapphires on it. Then we have Ron Chernak, who is here, +6, which is a ruby on there.
One of my sons got married, then he had 2 more, and then he just had twins, so I have more to go.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, is Donna Delolio here? She has a +6, which is another ruby. And then I think, is Tom Nelson on Zoom? Tom, you have a +6 and a +7.
Congratulations, Tom.
So Tom, I have those beautiful pins for you when you, next time I see you. I'm not going to send them in the mail or anything. I'm going to just keep them. So I think that all of this recognition, yeah, let's clap again for everybody. I didn't realize until the very last minute that I was the entire program. So I didn't quite prepare an entire program. And so we could adjourn, or we can, talk about whatever you want. Yes, ma'am. So the Paul Harris recognition is a recognition for each $1,000 that you contribute to the foundation. So when I say +1, that means you've contributed 2,000. When it's +7, that means you've contributed 8,000. Now there's other even higher levels of recognition. But Paul Harris, who's the founder of Rotary, it's really in recognition of how important the everyday, down and dirty, right in every little club Rotarian is to the work that Rotary does throughout the world. And when you think about a multi-billion-dollar foundation that can turn around and turn that money into projects with volunteers like us, but the money has to come from somewhere. And for many of us that don't have as much time, but might have the funds, or every little dollar, you might have more time to donate as a volunteer, but not a lot of dollars, but every little dollar matters, because through the foundation, it can be multiplied. And that's what way back in the beginning really gave me the chills about Rotary, is that this is a way for my measly dollars to be multiplied and matched with district grants, and then matched with global grants, and turn it into mega thousands and thousands of dollars, impacting people all over the world and even local projects. When I went to a Rotary international convention in Brazil in 2015, I was so moved by meeting people from all over the world. And I realized that no matter where you go in the world, you're part of the Rotary family. And I was in the jungle of the Amazon jungle at a camp, and ran into a Rotarian, which happened to be there because of the convention too. But I realized that being part of the Rotary family is crucial for me being an influence for good in the world. But then also the Rotary Foundation is kind of the methodology, is how it's going to happen and how our dollars. So all of these Paul Harris Fellow recognition and winners, if you would call it, they're making, those dollars are being multiplied probably 8 to 10 fold and really making impact in the world. So it all starts with just us. No other comments? That's all I have for you folks. So I will just take these away with me.
All right, thank you so much, Mayle. Every time you do a presentation, I remember how much I've forgotten about the foundation. So thank you for reminding all of us. We've got a certificate for you.
Oh.
I know, I bet you don't have any of those. And then Karen chose to give her a mug, so
Oh,
you can
thank
fill it with coffee.
you.
Yeah, yes. All right, well, I'll give you back part of your day. So thank you very much. Have a great day. Well, that's when our club.
Well, hopefully the audio was better, that you were able to enjoy the slides. And